Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice-integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere planter from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Plant for success with the industry's latest technology. Upgrade to an Exactly Merge high-speed planter to cover more acres, increasing flexibility and productivity. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location to order your new John Deere planter and experience the Landmark difference.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com, serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. Here is your host, Derek Pearson. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Saturday, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us on The Ticket. It's beautiful in downtown Lincoln. Hopefully it's beautiful wherever you are and whatever you're doing. We're going outside of our pocket of comfort because in expanding Lincoln and letting people in Lincoln know a lot of the services and really great people who live here, who reside here, who work here, who create here, who teach here, who educate here, and make Lincoln better. When those people show up at the door, we invite them in to have conversations, and some of those conversations are different conversations. This is not a sports conversation. This is a Lincoln and a love and an art conversation, and there are certain sparkling jewels that show up at the ticket, and we like to invite them in and put light on them. And I would like to introduce some of you. Some of you may know her, some of you may not. Geraldine Jerry Dobos, welcome to the ticket.
Thank you, Jerry. I am so pleased to be here.
Well, you are. There are things that sparkle, people that sparkle because they have intention to do good things, and you can't fake sparkle. You just can't. You can tell somebody that this thing is beautiful, and then you get behind the scenes, you go, wow, nope, that wasn't it. But in meeting you, and I thought, well, gee, I think it's fascinating that sports, education, business, and art, that when told properly, when identified properly, they're all love stories. they're all love stories.
I agree.
Right? That we find the thing in us that makes us move, and it's ultimately the mission, right? So we say, okay, this is where we are. It's the GPS. This is where we are, and then this is where we're trying to go, and then of course how we're going to get there. And in art, there's so many forms to it, and there's so many answers to it because there's no finite thing in art.
Right. It just keeps growing.
Right?
And once you start something, it's just generative.
So I'm going to get you closer to the microphone.
Okay.
Let's scoot that chair up. Ben, come on over. Push from behind. Let's get her closer to the microphone to get her there. Ben has not the longest legs, so he understands. There you go. There you go. So through this, so first of all, tell the folks who you are and what you and where you're from and what you're about.
Sure. I'm Geraldine Dobus. I'm an artist and art historian, and I live here in Lincoln. I grew up in the Appalachian Mountains in Pennsylvania.
Oh, so we're both from that Appalachian tour.
Are we really?
I'm from Virginia, so I got
Okay.
the other end of it.
I lived in Virginia too for a while.
Whereabouts?
I lived in Norfolk, out in that area, and I also lived close to Lebanon, Virginia, or
Yeah.
actually in Lebanon, Virginia.
Yeah. Okay.
Right near Abingdon.
Yeah. So you've been all over.
I've been all over.
You've
yeah.
been in those other parts of Virginia.
Yes, I have.
Appalachia is its own personality. I don't think there's anything in Nebraska quite the same as Appalachia.
No,
Yeah.
I would say the only thing that comes close, the people are close to the earth.
Yeah.
I know they say that out here.
Yeah.
But that's about the only thing I can make a connection with what I
Substance.
grew up with.
Yeah, that
yeah.
earth substance is a real thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So so tell me about your family and the people whose shoulders you stand on. So tell me about your mom and dad.
Oh, my mom and dad. My dad was a Vietnam veteran, and we spent some time over in Europe, and that's where I was born. My mom followed him, and he was a house painter, carpenter type. He loved to work with his hands. He was really good at it too. He was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my mom, she was really good with people. So she ended up selling life insurance for Woodman of the World. She came out here to Omaha in the 70s. And the rest of us were like, what in the world?
What are we
would
doing?
you-"
What are we doing?
I know it.
It's quite listen, parts of Pennsylvania, parts of Virginia are very Nebraska.
Mhm.
They're very similar threads. And I'm finding this out. There are always common threads.
Yeah.
No matter where you're from, that there's some part of Nebraska that you identify with, whether you're surprised by it or not. When did you know that art was your thing?
Oh my. When I was very small.
Yeah.
My mom and dad, I grew up when we came back to the US. I was living in a 2-room shack. And the only reason it was 2 rooms is because my dad put up a partition to separate the bedroom from the kitchen. We didn't have running water. We had an outhouse. We had a well down at the bottom of the hill, and we just lived, off the land. And so that is how it was. And I remember sitting at the kitchen table, and my mom had these color pencils, and they were dual color, red and blue, green and yellow, orange and purple. And so I remember her drawing a man, an outline of a man, and I colored it red and blue. And that was the first time I thought, I really love doing this. And I had a choice.
Was it texture, color, space? What was it that you went, okay, that's what I want to put in it?
Yeah, I love the idea of the space of the person and just being able to, it wasn't like I didn't color his arms one color and his body another. It was horizontal lines through his body. And I loved that cross section of the body that way. And so that's how I realized I really loved this. I could make choices. I could flip the pencil on one end or the other.
I think so much of this is, and again, in full transparency, I was explaining this to Jerry, that in these initial conversations, it is not possible to tell full stories, especially amongst creative people. It's just not possible. So this is just foundational for Jerry being able to podcast and tell her own stories. And they're all love stories. And again, the moment you fall in love with the thing that's going to carry you forever and ever and ever is it's pretty strong, and it's always vivid. And your recollection of it is also evolving because you now have more information to it. But in that, so you're sitting there and there's the thing. Then understanding that at some point you would become a teacher of this thing.
Yes.
Right? Which there's a moment where you realize you want to share this with other people, and so that they get their horizontal lines of color moment, right? When did you know you wanted to teach this?
Probably when I was taking my first lessons. I was about 9 years old, and my uncle paid for my first lessons with a local artist. And I adored this couple. The
Yeah.
man and the woman bought this barn and refurbished it and made it into a studio and their house. And it was it's kind of a hippie thing, right? You
No,
buy an old barn and you restore it, and you make one part a studio and the other part you live in.
Right.
And that's what they did. And she loved flowers, and she'd grow them and breed them for their color. And then he would teach other people. He was the teacher. And so they were the ones that started it. His name was Robin Grass, and he's still living. He's in Bedford, Pennsylvania. And
Well, maybe you'll call Robert and have this conversation with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to remind him, hey, remember, and look, it's a beautiful thing. If you're driving around in your car or you're sitting around at home and you go, wait a minute, that sounds like DP. And I know this is the ticket, but they're not talking sports. Well, again, there are times when we offshoot it into the things in Lincoln, the great people in Lincoln. And yeah, we're live on a Saturday. So if you want to be a part of what we're doing, the Starter Heyman text line is 402-464-5685. Join in. You can say hi to Jerry and welcome her to the ticket. And through all of it, again, all the live streams, YouTube, Facebook, X, Allo Channel 961 as well. And of course, this will be podcast up under Inside Art from the Inside, and that'll be a thing going forward. Jerry, this thing that is art. Generally, people have their own concepts and construct and boundary for what art is. I'm going to ask you from your own heart, what is art?
Art is self-expression. And I mean, I have my own tastes
Mhm.
in what I want to do and what I want to look at.
Okay.
But I think that the whole idea behind art is that you have choice and control. And that really is about free will. And that's what art is about.
If the art form changes, does the description of it change?
No, I can't imagine it changing.
Right?
It's all about the choice and control. It all goes down to free will, truly.
If I said to you, have a conversation with young Jerry about art, like the things that you needed to know. And as you educate, and you've been an educator in this space and around the country, around the world, actually, in explaining to people the value of art, the meaning of art, and then how to express their art, whether it be through yours or somebody else's. What is that conversation? What are the talking points to young artists who it may be a parent who has a young artist, a young artist who's trying to figure it out. What are the key points for art? If you're going to say, Mom, Dad, if you have a young artist, if they're in their own space creating, sometimes it's gaming, sometimes it's with an app that allows them to work in that space, or they may want to go to college and learn a specific trade. What would you say to them? What helps them get over the bridge?
Mm-hmm. Let them be curious. Let them keep exploring, creating. Let them do that.
Do you, as a parent, do you have to understand it to be supportive
Yeah.
of it? Right?
We really don't understand each other. And sometimes we don't understand ourselves. And I think that's the whole point of being able to have the free will to make art, is to start to understand yourself.
And the canvas can be a lot of things.
Mhm.
The canvas can be, it really can be anything. As we just said, it could be the barn, it could be the farm, it could be a building, it could be a single room where you need to change the space. and change the way it's perceived. Because I would imagine that on one half of that board that sat in the room, there was some pretty good art on one side, and the other side may not have matched that. But for you, what is your favorite canvas for art?
I love to paint. I love color.
Okay.
I love the way you can create a mood with paint. I like to draw too. I mean, I
Yeah.
like pencil,
Yeah.
charcoal, on paper. But I think painting is like it's probably the romantic part. You get to say that's the love part, is you get to talk about your emotions and set a mood, and if people connect with it, then they can have that experience too. I think I don't know. I might be wrong, but I think that the mood is what people connect on,
Yeah.
not necessarily the line. I mean, line is very rational
Yeah.
and analytical,
Uh-huh.
and then color is so full of mood. I have a hard time. Sometimes it's hard to put them together, but they're
But that's perfect, because
Yeah.
there are linear people
Mhm.
who are those line people who need the form.
Yep.
They need the form. It's okay, everything within this space.
Yes.
Then there's the creative people,
Mhm.
where those lines really, it's a suggestion.
That's right.
It's a suggestion.
You have to color out of them.
like I understand that you need this line to exist for your understanding, but the artist often not only has the responsibility, but it's almost a dare to blur the line and kind of crash it and say, okay, here's how you see it, but let's expand a little bit.
Yeah.
And let's change it. When you say painting, give me a description of when you sit down to canvas, what is painting to you? What are you trying to do? And is there a particular style that you like to flow to? Like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Yeah,
Like, do you
What
see
am
the
I-
vision before you sit down? Or are you one of those people, one of those painters that, let me sit and it'll call me? What do you do?
no, I'm looking at my environment.
Okay.
I want to know what's going on around me and pick up on what moves me, and then I'll sit down and compose the composition.
Oh, you're dangerous then.
Yeah.
You're dangerous then. There are people. I love people.
So I used to love doing art in like high school. Like I took like all the art classes
Yeah.
at my high school. I always felt like painting was the most difficult one, because it's like, I don't know, it's so like, I feel like, with like pencil, like for example, I feel like it's just so much easier to like create the image you're trying to do. I feel like painting, there's just so much that you can do with it that it's like, I don't know. It was just, it's not that I didn't like painting. I just was not good at it, because it just takes a special skill set to be able to paint the image that you're trying to portray,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, the tree's not always green, and the sky's not always
Yeah.
blue.
See, I don't think like that. To me, the sky is blue.
Well, Ben and I have had this conversation, and Ben's at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and a big part of the conversation, his growth in this space, is to allow him to understand that there is another way.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And you're not wrong. Art is never wrong.
No.
Yeah.
It's never wrong. It is just in that space who you are and how you felt, and then how you perceive it. My grandmother gave me this gift years ago, and she said, because she would take me to museums in DC,
Mhm.
which is just an art hub. I love
Yeah.
it, right?
Mhm.
And to go in, and she would say, okay, when you see a person, a picture, or a portrait, stop and look into the eyes of the people in the picture portrait, because there's the story.
Mhm.
Don't get caught up in what's around it, but that person and the eyes in it. And I think from an art standpoint, everybody has their thing that they look at and that they want to draw people to. Sometimes it's the background,
Mhm.
and that's important. Sometimes it's the structure, the feature. Sometimes it's just the colors, the
Mhm.
perfect blends of colors.
Mhm.
And I'll ask you that. Are you a background art person? Are your eyes drawn to the canvas? Are you drawn to the people in it, the objects in it, or are you moved by the story that the whole thing is going to tell?
Oh, it depends.
Yeah.
It really depends, but I really love the face and the figure. I love bodies,
Mhm.
and I think they're like the main thing to everything. And so even if you're doing a landscape, you're actually thinking about your own body, your own experience in that setting. And that's what you're going after, is that slice of time, the slice of your heart,
Yeah.
what you're experiencing, and you want to give that to someone else.
And it's forever, and no two
Mhm.
people see your work, your love the same way.
Yeah.
That's the part of it. So is there a place, and we'll get into it in full in the next segment, but is there a place where people can go to experience you and your art at its highest level?
Yeah, they can come to my studio.
Okay.
I'm at 124 South 9th Street here in Lincoln. I'm in the
Okay.
Mission Arts Building. I'm
Okay.
upstairs. Or they can go to my website.
Mhm.
It is GeraldineDobos.com.
Yep. We'll keep going to it because
Yep.
we want people to be curious and to get into some of the space. When we come back, we'll talk about some of her heroes in this art thing, like the people that she admires and the people that inspire her, because that art is always about who moves me and what I do with how I honor my heroes in this thing. Geraldine Dobos, DP, here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Kingdom Sports Minute with Ron Brown. Three-time NBA champion AC Green of the Los Angeles Lakers had a well-known disciplined lifestyle both on and off the court. He set the NBA record for the most consecutive games played and earned the nickname Iron Man in the process. But Green also became known for his chaste lifestyle out of his conviction to follow Jesus, rejecting the debauchery that was especially pervasive throughout the 1980s. Not only did he abstain from alcohol and drugs, he's also known for being sexually pure throughout his entire 16-year career and remaining a virgin until he was married at 39 years old. Green's teammates and opponents often teased him and even tried to tempt and talk him out of such strong stance. But they began to see the inner core of AC Green, filled with Christ, strong and unashamed. Many of these athletes eventually expressed admiration and respected Green for his self-control. Visit kingdomsports.online.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. Spring in Nebraska brings green grass and warmer weather, but it also brings severe storms which can cause damage to your home. Meadowlark Exterior specializes in hail, storm, and wind damage restoration, as well as roofing, siding, and gutters for commercial or residential buildings. Meadowlark Exteriors focuses on fine craftsmanship and proves that in their attention to detail. They offer free roof inspections and estimates and insurance claim assistance, serving the Lincoln and Omaha surrounding areas. Call today at 402-875-2956 or go to meadowlarkexteriors.com. Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and Air Park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries. Join Main Street Beatrice for their annual Taste of Spring Beer, Spirits, and Wine Festival on Saturday, June 1st from 4 to 7 p.m. Enjoy an afternoon of unlimited tastings of Nebraska beer, spirits, and wine tasting at Charles Park near downtown. There's something for all palates, and you only pay your entry fee.
Food and snacks are available for purchase at the event, as well as off-sale beer, wine, and spirits from vendors. This fun day is for adults 21 and over only. Buy your tickets at mainstreetbeatrice.org.
Hey guys, it's Nick. 93.7 The Ticket is excited to be broadcasting this weekend from Stillwater, Oklahoma, as the Big Ten champion Nebraska baseball team appears in their first regional since 2021. From Friday through Monday, Austin and I will have pregame shows, postgame reactions, interviews, and other thoughts from Stillwater as the Huskers begin their road to Omaha. Regional coverage is presented by Mullen Motors, Sandhills Global, and Blur Events. It's NCAA baseball tournament coverage live from Stillwater, Oklahoma, this Friday through Monday on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Gaina Trucking is hiring for heavy equipment operators and a heavy equipment mechanic. Working at Gaina Trucking is a great career with excellent team culture, with benefits package including competitive pay based on experience, health, vision, and dental insurance, and a 401k plan. If you're looking for a new job as a heavy equipment operator or mechanic, apply online at GainaTrucking.com or call 402-794-5000. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, sponsored by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You know it's a good Saturday. Sun's out. The trees outside of the studio. There's a breeze dancing in it. And you get a little One Nation Under a Groove on a Saturday afternoon. Not a bad way to spend your Saturday. DP, Ben is manning the boards for us. Geraldine Dubus is with us. And through all of what we talked about in segment one, it's just an introduction to who you are and why you love what you love. But I think we all stand on the shoulders of something great, right? That inspires us, moves us. There are people that inspire us. I had some great mentors and people who set me on a path and gave me instruction. And it's the voice I hear in my head, right? Oh, I hear John Thompson telling me, okay, young man, forward, forward, forward. For you, who are those people? Who are some of the people that, whether it be from a personal standpoint or an art standpoint, their voice is in your head and they help guide you through what you do?
Yeah. Well, I mentioned Robin Grass. He was my first art parent. The others, a lot of them are dead. But the living ones, I have two in New York, Hanyan Zhang and Lois Woolley. And Hanyan was a what do you call him? A prisoner.
Yeah.
He was a prisoner. He was in the Cultural Revolution in China.
Okay.
A very young man, and went through that period of being off on these re-education camps and not being able to create, and that was him. Yeah. So he had to put that aside while he was going through this. So he really is the one that's in my head, telling me that artists' rights are human rights. And that just aligns so much with my ideas about choice and control and having that free will. So that's where those things they meet.
So if there's a Mount Rushmore of artists, and it could be any version,
any of them.
Yep, any range at all, and it's a statement of, okay, this is how Jerry gets here.
Yeah.
These are my four. Who are yours?
William Adolphe Bouguereau.
Okay, tell me why.
He's a French classicist.
Okay.
He was the last. I love his figures. There's no one that makes flesh look like flesh. He is perfect. I mean, there's nothing you could do to improve his work.
That has to be like that needs to be on a shirt.
Yeah.
That from an art standpoint, that making flesh look like flesh should be kind of how you're graded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
he gets cut down for that by critics, but he actually is the master for Even my master Han Yanjiang will go into a museum and we will stand together looking at William Adolphe Bouguereau for a long time, just trying to analyze the figure and how he's capturing the color.
Who's next?
Michelangelo.
Why?
I loved his devotion, and also his skill, but I loved his devotion, the way he sacrificed himself, and also the way that he was using figure as well. And he's a sculptor, and he always, even though he did the Sistine Chapel, he's always saying, "But I'm a sculptor, but I'm a sculptor,"
Yeah,
and you're still
no!
doing it anyways, you know.
You are whatever the receiver is saying you are, and they're letting
That's
you
right.
know.
That's right. I mean, he designed architecture too, you know, and those are big loves as well. I love architecture too. I'm not an architect, but I love to look at. I love the spaces.
But is that one of the elite works? Is that one of your, like, if you said, okay, the 4 works that just we should all be striving for some version of, right? Is
Yeah.
that one of them? Is Sistine Chapel, is that one of them?
I love the Sistine Chapel. It has the whole history of the Genesis in it, and that's like it's the beginning of everything. And I mean, as someone in the Western world and a
Mhm.
Christian,
Mhm.
you look at that and you can understand the whole thing.
But you've traveled the world. I would imagine that you've seen things before that. Like before that, even before that, you've seen places where art is in the ground and art is on a wall and art is in a mountain, and those stories get told. I'm always fascinated that when an artist travels and you see those things,
Yes.
how are you affected when you go, if you go to, like, to the Middle East and you see these magnificent creations that, whether they were created by human or God, you see them and then have to share those stories. What are those things to you?
Yeah, those things. When I walk across an archaeological site,
Yeah.
that's what I do in the summer times. I go over to Turkey and do the architectural drawings for a site that UNL is actually the director is here at UNL. His name's
That's
Michael
why I
Hoffman.
brought it up.
Yes.
Because I know that and again, over the course of episodes forward, you have to talk about Nebraska's involvement, Nebraska's place in this, and this community.
Yes.
Because there's a strong art community. It just isn't talked about in full.
Yeah. And they're very tied to sports.
Yeah.
It's very tied to sports through passion, through the idea of a playbook.
Yeah.
All of that comes into this. But when I'm standing on an archaeology site and I look at the ruins and the way the soil has just eroded over top of things, and I realize there have been literally thousands of people step over that. They've lived and died and loved on that ground and under that ground. And they've experienced those walls, those blocks. They've lived through people attacking them, or maybe they didn't. But all of that is just there. You can feel it when you step on the ground. It's like a sense of everything, every passion that's ever been there in that very spot comes up through the soles of your feet.
Art makes you do that, though. Like I think it's one of the lead purposes of it.
Yeah.
Is to make you stop and evaluate. I mean, even around Lincoln, these buildings, these classic buildings that all have some version of handed down archaeology passed to them. And every building here that exists in Lincoln, and especially in downtown Lincoln, has a long story.
Yeah,
Even before it was called Lincoln, it has a story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, your eyes must, as you walk through, like, just to see it. It's kind of like me watching sports. I will see things in it that other people won't see. You must look at a building and go, wait a minute, I know where those people came from.
I do. Yeah. Everything. I mean, we're looking across the street and I see the Geisen and the cornice that's holding up things. And Yeah, all of that. I mean, it's beautiful.
Like,
They
that comes
picked out
from-
the most beautiful things.
That comes from another place, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally Greek.
Right? I think people in Lincoln, because they're from here, sometimes they miss the layout.
Yeah.
In that they sit in these buildings, these and kudos to the people who hold on to the form of the buildings. But there are people that it's time to move on. No. If you look at that building and understand what went into it, that a building that was created over 200 years ago is just the pimple. It really is. It has nothing to do with where it came from. And there's so many stories behind it. So, okay. So, and I said this before, full disclosure, there's zero chance that we could get to everything we want to get to in any episode with Jerry, because art just does that. It's just different conversations.
Yeah.
And it's required. Okay, let's go back to your Mount Rushmore. You gave us 2. Who else is on your list of magnificent creators?
George Inness. I love George Inness because he didn't fit in. People try to fit him in with tonalism. He was a Swedenborgian. He was the religion is Swedenborg.
Yeah.
And he loved that. And he interpreted color as though it was a representation of heaven, the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
So every landscape that he did, the colors had something to do with spirituality.
Yep.
And there's nothing clearly defined in his work either. He's the total opposite of like a Michelangelo drawing the figure and the edges are tight.
Yeah.
You know, his forms are soft, and there's always a sunset off in the distance or something, and there's light coming through. So there's always something about the heavenly realm in that, and even the colors and what they represent.
My uncle would paint, and he would talk about the spectrum, and that each color had its representation, but that what he wanted to do was allow each person to choose what the colors meant to them. He would create the form and use his colors, but everybody else would see them and dance their own space into it. And I was just like, okay, someday I'll figure out what you meant by that. And it took going to college to figure it out. Oh, okay, I got it. You were setting a table, you were setting a format, and allowing me to recanvas what you had done, which was again a whole other art thing. All right, who else is on that Rushmore? You've given 3. Who's the 4th and final? And that's probably the most difficult.
That
of the
is,
4.
I'm panicking right now because I've focused so much on 3.
Well, no, but it's beautiful because each of them are different. They all have different focuses and elite skill and different storytellers. But so I'll ask this: who's the best storyteller when it comes to art that you can think of?
The best storyteller. Well, it would be Han Yen.
Just simply because
I mean, he's done so many epic paintings. He's illustrated National Geographic, one of the largest oil paintings in the past, 80 years. So, he is a storyteller, and that's what all of his work is about, is telling this story. So he's the one that has that.
Through all of this, and again, I'm looking for why I wanted to launch this project was in a different space for people to be able to identify the beauty around Lincoln, to know where these places are, where these events are, where this art is. And there's art in everything, but we can't simplify it that much for people because they'll just go, not really. Yeah, there's, especially in Lincoln, because of the age and longevity and the stories, but we need to get to the stories of how these buildings were built, where the art comes from. And then there's some museums and galleries around Lincoln that are worthy of discussion. And I'll ask you, we'll go to break. When we come back, I'll ask you to tell us all what's in your gallery. What's in your gallery and why? And then we will send people to that gallery when we come back. It's Jerry and DP on the Ticket.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. When it comes to gift giving, it's all about the wow factor. And let me tell you, nothing wows quite like jewelry. Whether it's a delicate necklace or a statement ring, jewelry makes the right statement. So if you want to knock her socks off, or anything else for that matter. Skip the generic gifts and go straight for the bling. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats. Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
That's a bad look for Mike Malone. When did the F-bombs just become an accepted part of our world where coaches just go to podiums and drop F-bombs? When did that start happening?
I think it's right after COVID. After COVID.
Damn COVID.
COVID-19.
Ruined our profanity, our properness in press conferences. Took everything away.
It was. It really was. We got that documented.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Final segment. Just for today, and again, it's an introduction because I want Jerry to get familiar with sharing what she loves and who she is, and in this space, but in the space that she's in, and one as an educator, two as a narrator and storyteller for art. She's given more knowledge and intel over the course of the next hour. Like she's giving me some homework without assigning it, because of the way she talks about it and cares about it. But the young people in this community need to know that art exists here and that it's purposeful, and that you are around the University of Nebraska and in this space, and you represent the state of Nebraska around the world, in talking about art and telling stories. But you have your own hub, your own vacuum, your own space on 9th Street. Let the folks know again about your gallery here in Lincoln.
Yeah, I have a little studio space in the Mission Arts building. And you wanted to know what I keep there.
I want to know what, because what you chose to put in there is a statement out loud about who you are. So what's in the building?
It is. Well, I have a lot of my paintings hanging on the wall and to showcase them.
As you should.
As I should.
As
yes,
you should.
as I should.
Right.
And then I also have a lot of reference images up and sketches that I'm doing, working on the paintings that I want to create.
Okay.
So a lot of reference material. I have a lot of materials. I have a whole section just for canvas, paints, brushes, all the odds and ends that come along with it. I have a refrigerator. You have to have refreshments.
It's so funny. Like every artist, like as a writer, I need my space to be messy.
Yeah.
Because if it's clear, I'm just jumbled and I can't. I can focus amongst chaos. Like it's my biggest talent, and that's how I know I'm an artist. Is that amongst the chaos, I can find focus.
Yeah, but it has to be my chaos.
Yes!
I mean, it can't be like when I'm at home, I can't do it. I mean, when we were locked down, you know, during the pandemic, I did work. I painted. I'd go outside and paint when the weather was nice, but it was so hard because everything was down the basement, and it's not my chaos, even though my stuff is all around. It just isn't my chaos, and I can't separate myself from my home life. So I feel I have to have this other space in order to get comfortable. And I like to just go in my space and it's like a hovel. You know, you have to have that thing just to settle down, and I'll make myself a tea or something just to get myself settled, because my mind is racing. I can't concentrate on the thing that I want to do, even if it's, you know, on the top of my mind. Like I want to make a study about a dream that I had, or I want to,
What time of day is your creative time?
well, I'm actually very reflective early in the morning. I usually have a cup of coffee and I journal for quite a while.
Yeah.
I like to reflect on dreams and the things and then what I want to do. So all my ideas will start being generated at that time.
Do you think that your dreams are more vivid and recallable because of your art, or is your art better because those dreams keep moving the needle?
Oh, well, I've always been somebody that remembers their dreams. And whether I'm painting or drawing or not, the dreams are still there and they're still very vivid and they're always in color. And that has always moved me in different directions.
Are you a colorist that each color has a finite thing for you? Like it's each thing is a statement to you?
Each color?
Yeah.
I am a colorist that I'm always matching things. But I
would drive you crazy because I am a Garanimals for grown-ups kind of person. Like I want it as simple as I can possibly make it. In that I try not to, as you can see, as I dress simply.
Yeah.
And not everybody has that art form. So
yeah.
If you're matching colors and going, oh, you were so close.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm doing that. And it's kind of irritating, I guess, to some people. But you know, if I had to assign things to colors, pink is love. Red is sex. I mean, red is just the hottest thing. And
what's purple?
Purple, you know, I think it's just a softness. It's a deepness that's I can't put a name on, and people want to say that's very mysterious, that purple, and you find out
Passion?
it's grape.
Passion. Yeah, well, grape is fun. Like like just saying grape. Whoever came up with that word, thank you.
Yeah.
Like if you came up with grape, you did a real thing. Listen, throughout the course of the coming weeks, to give you permission to come in and have conversations in art, bringing artists and bringing art in to just kind of explain what it is and how it comes to be, and then freeing up people to have conversations about art. Jerry, this was fantastic.
Yeah, thank you, Derek. I just had a blast.
Oh, well, we'll do it again next week.
Yeah.
We'll bring it in and let folks come in. Again, let folks know how they can find you, how they can follow you, and where your gallery is.
Yeah, they can locate me on the web at GeraldineDobus.com, and I'm at 124 South 9th Street here in Lincoln.
There's lots of stories to be told, and you have the attention of some wonderful art students here in town. So we'll spread the word.
Great. Thank you.
All right, everybody. That's it for us here at the Ticket. We're going to go national for a bit, but Jerry will be back next week. We'll tell more stories.
We're going to have Royals on, I think.
Yeah, Royals on the brick and mortar, and then we will send out some more streams from shows earlier this week. So enjoy your Saturday. We'll be back tomorrow with live coverage here on the Ticket, beginning at 8 o'clock with Bigger Than the Score, Pete Ferguson and his crew of scholars. Until then, be kind to yourself, most importantly, and most often.
Community means something different to everyone. But for me, it means cheering on those around you during the good times and helping them out during the tough times. I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I've been blessed with the support of my friends, family, coaches, and community throughout my life. When looking for a bank to call home, it was easy to choose Midwest Bank. I never feel like just another customer, and they're proud to support their communities. They love what they do, and it shows. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of your liberty and pursuit of your justice for those that have been injured. My name is Seth Morris, attorney with Liberty Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, call 877-42-LIBERTY. Our relentless trial attorneys are committed to the highest quality legal representation. At Liberty Law Group, we will fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Again, that's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff.